The camera opens on a gleaming tower of glass and steel, the sharp, cold exterior of the luxurious hotel reflecting the glowing skyline. The building stands as a monument to wealth, power, and success, a symbol of everything that the woman who owns it has worked tirelessly to achieve. But there's an edge to it now, something in the air that feels heavy, as though the wind itself knows what's about to unfold. The camera zooms in on the entrance, where the automatic doors glide open, and a black woman steps inside. Her stride is purposeful, her steps echoing in the grand lobby. This is her space, her domain. She's no stranger here, she built it from the ground up. Each corner, each polished surface, every piece of luxury surrounding her bears her touch, her sweat, her vision. She's the embodiment of what hard work, persistence, and grit can achieve. She approaches the front desk, a space that should feel like a welcome home. The receptionist, a young woman in a crisp uniform, looks up. But the moment her gaze meets the owner's, there's something there, something cold, something almost disdainful. The woman's smile falters for just a split second, but she pushes past it, her confidence unwavering. "I need a room for the night," she says smoothly, her voice calm, controlled. The kind of voice that commands respect, the kind that doesn't need to shout to be heard. She's not asking for a favor. She's not begging. She's simply doing what anyone else in her position would do, checking into her own hotel. The receptionist doesn't reply immediately. She just stares at the woman, then looks down at the computer screen, fingers hovering over the keyboard. The seconds drag on, each one hanging heavier than the last. There's an uncomfortable pause in the air, as though the receptionist is trying to find the right words, or perhaps, the right excuse. Finally, the receptionist looks back up, a fake smile plastered on her face. "I'm sorry, but we can't accommodate you," she says flatly, her voice devoid of warmth, an icy refusal that cuts through the quiet. The words land like a slap across the face. For a moment, the woman doesn't speak, doesn't move. She stands there, the weight of the insult settling in, and for the first time, something cracks behind her eyes. It's a subtle thing, just the narrowing of her gaze, the tightening of her jaw. But it's enough to shift the air in the room. The receptionist, perhaps thinking she's said what she needed to, looks down again, tapping a few keys on the keyboard, as though this is all just routine. But it's not routine. Not for her. Not for the woman standing before the desk. The camera focuses on her face. Her eyes, dark and sharp, seem to pierce through the receptionist, through the lobby, through the entire hotel. For a moment she's somewhere else, far away, back to the early days when she built this place, when it was just an idea in her head and a struggle in her heart. The countless sleepless nights, the walls she had to break down, the doors that slammed in her face, the way people looked at her as though she didn't belong in spaces like this. The looks. The whispers. The refusal of even the most basic respect. She's been here before. But never like this. Her hand tightens around the strap of her bag, and the receptionist shifts uncomfortably, but the woman doesn't blink. She's still holding her composure. She's too strong for this. Too strong for their small, petty attempts to break her. The world has underestimated her before. It always has. But it never lasts long. She takes a slow breath, the kind you take before making a decision that will change everything. And then, in a move so calm it almost seems calculated, she leans in just a fraction closer to the receptionist. The space between them shrinks, and the woman can feel the shift. Her presence fills the room, and the air seems to thicken with the tension of what's unsaid. The receptionist looks up once more, only now, there's fear in her eyes. "I built this hotel," the woman says, her voice low but filled with an undeniable weight. "This place, every inch of it, was built by me. From the ground up. And I'll be damned if you think you can deny me a room here. You've made a mistake." The receptionist falters, her fingers trembling as she tries to find something to say, some way to backtrack. But there's nothing. The woman stands there, unwavering, her eyes cold steel now. The air around them crackles with the unspoken truth, the truth that the receptionist knows, but has to face now. She is nothing more than a pawn in a game she doesn't even understand. The woman takes a step back, and the camera focuses on her as she turns away. She doesn't need to say another word. The silence in the room speaks louder than anything else. The receptionist, lost in her own discomfort, can only watch as the woman walks away, her heels clicking with finality. But the camera doesn't leave the receptionist just yet. She watches the woman's retreating form, and for the first time, there's doubt in her eyes. The coldness fades, replaced by a flicker of uncertainty. She's not sure who she just tried to deny, but she's about to learn the consequences of underestimating someone who built empires with nothing but sheer will. The woman exits the lobby, and the camera lingers for a moment longer on the receptionist, still standing frozen behind the desk. It's in that moment that the storm breaks, and the weight of the insult settles in. This isn't just about a room. This is about something far greater. It's a message. And the woman will make sure it's heard. The camera pulls back slowly, showing the grand exterior of the hotel once more. The wind picks up, the city noise humming in the background, but it all feels quieter now. There's a reckoning in the air, a moment of silence before everything changes. The camera shifts, moving into the sterile, cold silence of the back office. The woman, standing tall and composed, leans against the desk, her fingers tracing the edges of a folder. Her mind races, trying to make sense of what just happened, trying to make sense of the feeling gnawing at her stomach. She's always prided herself on keeping her emotions in check, never letting anyone see her sweat. But today, something is different. The weight of the situation is heavier than any other obstacle she's faced. She's not just a businesswoman here. She's a black woman, in a world that still has no place for her. The sting of rejection from the front desk lingers, sharp and bitter, and she tries to push it down. As she breathes deeply, her thoughts are interrupted by the sound of murmured voices outside the office. Low, hushed tones slip through the crack of the door, barely audible, but cutting deep. She doesn't belong here. One voice sneers. The words hit her like a slap, but she doesn't flinch. She stays still, not wanting to give them the satisfaction of seeing her react. She knows exactly what they're saying. She's heard it all before. She's always heard it. They only gave her this place because of. The words are muffled, but the judgment is clear. It's there in every syllable, in every word, in the way they say it, as though she's not worthy of the success she's earned. She's not worthy of the power she commands. She's not worthy of being the boss. They think she doesn't belong here. That's what they think. The woman stands there, silent and still, but inside, a fire begins to burn. She can feel it simmering, the heat rising. The injustice of it all presses down on her chest, pushing the air from her lungs. But she doesn't cry. No, she's been through too much to break now. This is nothing more than another hurdle to overcome. But it stings. She steps away from the desk and moves toward the window, her heels clicking sharply against the floor. She gazes out at the city beyond, a view she's worked so hard for, a view she's fought for. It's hard to ignore the feeling of being an outsider in her own empire. The world may see her as a successful entrepreneur, a woman who built this hotel from the ground up. But these walls, these people, they don't see her the way they see their own. They see the color of her skin before they see the power in her eyes. They see her as less than. Her reflection stares back at her in the window, the face of a woman who refuses to be defeated. But it's there, the vulnerability. The rawness she tries so hard to bury. The woman who built this empire, who fought for every inch of success, is still fighting. But now, she's fighting a battle with no clear enemy. It's not just the hotel. It's not just the front desk clerk, or the staff laughing behind her back. It's the world that has always looked at her and said, "You don't belong here." She takes a deep breath and pushes the hurt aside. She's been here before. She's been rejected, overlooked, underestimated for so long. She's learned to fight back. She's learned to rise above. But this time, it feels different. This time, it's personal. The tension in the office escalates as she hears the sound of footsteps approaching. She straightens her back, putting on the mask of calm composure. It's what she does best. But it's getting harder. The weight of their laughter, the whispers, the insults they think she can't hear, It's all too much. They think they can humiliate her, tear her down. But what they don't realize is that she's built for this. She's built for the fight. She's heard them laughing before, behind her back, mocking her success, questioning her worth. It's always the same, the subtle digs, the sideways glances, the whispered comments. And for so long, she's let it slide, let it roll off her shoulders. But today, something has shifted. The laughter feels louder, the whispers feel sharper, and the weight of their judgment feels heavier than ever. The woman takes another breath and turns back toward the door. She knows she can't let this go any longer. Not this time. She's been pushed to the edge, and the simmering tension inside her is about to boil over. She refuses to let them break her. She refuses to let them think they can steal her dignity. She walks toward the door with a quiet resolve. Her hand reaches for the knob, and for just a moment, she pauses. The silence is deafening. She knows what she's about to do will change everything. The moment she steps outside that office, she'll confront them all. Every last one of them. And she's not backing down. Her grip tightens on the doorknob as she opens the door. The staff is gathered in the break room, talking amongst themselves, their laughter ringing out. But when they see her, it falls silent. The woman steps into the room, her presence commanding the space. She doesn't raise her voice. She doesn't need to. Her silence speaks louder than anything they could ever say. "I heard you," she says, her voice low but sharp, cutting through the stillness like a knife. "I heard every word. You think I don't belong here? You think you can laugh at me behind my back?" She pauses, letting the words hang in the air. The tension between them thickens. "I built this place. From nothing. And you think you can disrespect me? Not in my house." The room is silent, the air heavy with the weight of her words. Her eyes lock onto each one of them, and for the first time, they realize who they're dealing with. She's not just the owner of this hotel. She's the woman who refuses to be silenced, the woman who refuses to let anyone make her feel small. She's the woman who's about to make them all pay for their disrespect. The camera lingers on her face as she watches them squirm, the vulnerability she's been hiding now replaced by something stronger. Something unstoppable. And as she turns away, making the decision that will change everything, we know this is just the beginning. She's done playing by their rules. She's done being the victim. Now, it's time to take control. And the world better watch out. The air in the staff meeting room is thick with tension, the kind that crackles when unspoken words hang heavy in the silence. The woman stands in the doorway, her frame outlined by the harsh fluorescent light above, and for a moment, everything seems to freeze. The room full of employees, people who owe their jobs to her, turns as one to look at her. Their faces are blank, but there's something beneath that mask. Fear? Guilt? It's hard to say. But whatever it is, it makes the hairs on the back of their necks stand up. They've been waiting for this moment. They've heard the rumors. They know what's been said behind her back. They know she's in there, standing just outside their door. Without a word, she steps inside. She doesn't wait for anyone to speak. She doesn't have to. Her presence fills the room, commanding the attention of everyone in it. Her eyes scan each face, locking with theirs one by one. The silence is deafening. No one dares to move, no one dares to speak. "I built this hotel." Her voice cuts through the stillness like a blade, steady and unyielding. "But you built your disrespect here." The words land like thunder in the room. The employees flinch, but she doesn't flinch. Her gaze never wavers. She's done playing games. She's done pretending she doesn't see the way they've looked at her, the way they've treated her. She lets the words hang in the air, feels the weight of them sink into the room like a stone dropping into a pond. The silence stretches out, longer than it should, suffocating in its intensity. And then, just as they begin to settle into their discomfort, she pulls out her phone. Her fingers hover over the screen for a moment, and the room holds its breath. She presses a button. The sound of the call connecting cuts through the tension, loud and final. "I need you to fire every single person in this room," she says calmly into the phone. The words are so simple, so cold, but they send shockwaves through the staff. They don't know if they've heard her correctly. They don't know if this is real. For a moment there's disbelief, a collective gasp that rises up as the reality of what she's doing settles in. But even she is taken aback by her own boldness. There's a split second where she wonders if she's gone too far, if her anger, her hurt, is speaking louder than her reason. Her pulse races, and the weight of the moment almost overwhelms her. It feels like she's lost control. She's reacting from a place of hurt, from a place of betrayal. But then she breathes. A long, steadying breath. And as the seconds pass, she feels the fog of rage clear. She's not losing control. She's gaining it. She's been patient for too long, and now it's time to make a change. A real change. The old way is gone. She's not going to let anyone make her feel small anymore. She's done with their whispers, their disrespect, their assumptions. The phone call ends with the finality of a door slamming shut. The woman stands there, letting the words sink into the room. Every person in the room knows exactly what's just happened. The air is electric now, charged with shock and disbelief. The power dynamics have shifted in an instant. The woman has reclaimed control. She looks at each one of them, her gaze no longer soft, no longer passive. It's fierce, commanding. You're all gone. Every one of you. You think you can tear me down? You think you can disrespect me, tear down what I've worked so hard to build? Not anymore. I'm not playing by your rules anymore. The room is still. They can't believe it. Some of them open their mouths to speak, but no words come out. Others shift uncomfortably, like they're waiting for someone else to say something, to break the silence. But no one does. And she doesn't give them the chance. Get out, she commands, her voice sharp and final. Now. They begin to file out, some in stunned silence, others with their heads down, embarrassed, afraid of what they've just witnessed. They were once her employees. Now they're nothing. They'll be replaced. And then, just as they exit, she makes another call. This time, her voice is different. It's calm, confident, even inviting. She's calling in new recruits, people who will work for her, with her, who will honor her vision. She doesn't need them to love her. She just needs them to respect her. And they will. The new staff will have no illusions about what it takes to work for her. They'll know the price of disrespect. They'll know the value of integrity, of hard work, of dignity. This hotel won't just be a place of luxury. It will be a place where people know their worth. Where everyone, no matter who they are, is treated with respect. She looks out the window again, watching the sun dip lower in the sky. The city around her doesn't change. The world doesn't stop moving. But she has changed. The weight that pressed down on her shoulders, the crushing feeling of isolation, has lifted. She's reclaimed her power, and she's rebuilt her foundation. Her phone buzzes, and she picks it up, glancing at the screen. A new message from a potential recruit flashes across the screen. She smiles, a small, satisfied smile, as she taps a response. Welcome to the team. She types, the words crisp, clear, and full of promise. She leans back in her chair, the tension in her body easing. She's not just surviving anymore. She's thriving. And with this new staff, with this new beginning, she knows that she's not just going to take back what's hers. She's going to build something greater than she ever imagined. This hotel, her empire, is no longer just a place. It's a symbol of her strength, her resilience, her unwavering belief in herself. And nothing will ever break her again. The sun dips low on the horizon, casting a warm golden glow across the city. From the balcony of her hotel, the woman stands alone, her silhouette framed by the fading light. The camera pulls back slowly, revealing the full grandeur of the building, a towering symbol of everything she's fought for. The hotel is more than just bricks and mortar, it's a reflection of her strength, her vision, her uncompromising dignity. Every inch of it tells the story of a woman who refused to be broken, a woman who built something from nothing and refused to let anyone take it from her. She watches the city below, the streets busy with life, the noise of the world fading as she stands in the quiet. Her mind drifts back to the moments that led her here, the fights, the betrayals, the hurt that used to fill her chest like a heavy weight. She'd been through so much to get to this point. They thought they could break her. They thought they could tear her down, undermine everything she'd worked for. But they didn't know her. They didn't understand what she was made of. Her hands rest on the railing, steady and calm, but her mind is a whirlwind of thoughts. She remembers the first day she stepped into this hotel, the first brick she laid. She remembers the skepticism, the doubts, the voices that told her it couldn't be done. She remembers how they looked at her, like she didn't belong, like she was a stranger in her own dreams. But she proved them wrong. She built this empire with her own hands, with her own grit. And now, standing here, looking out at what she's created, she can feel the weight of that victory. But victory didn't come without a price. She'd paid for it in ways no one would ever understand. She'd been disrespected, overlooked, humiliated in her own home, by people she trusted. It had broken her heart in ways that no one could see. But in the quiet moments, in the moments when the weight of betrayal threatened to crush her, she had found something stronger than hurt. She had found herself. The woman who stood here now was not the same woman who walked into that hotel all those years ago. She was stronger. She was wiser. She had learned that no one, not even the people she trusted, had the power to define her. Her eyes shift from the city below to the building around her. It's all hers. Every single piece. The lobby, the halls, the rooms, they all carry her vision, her heart. The people who tried to tear her down, the ones who laughed at her, the ones who whispered behind her back, they were gone now. And in their place were people who knew what it meant to stand with her, to respect her. The power dynamics had shifted, but not in the way they expected. She didn't have to beg for respect. She didn't have to fight for her worth. She simply took it. She took what was hers, and she kept what belonged to her. The hotel was a reflection of that. She takes a deep breath, letting the cool evening air fill her lungs. It's a moment of peace. A moment where everything that had once felt so heavy, the hurt, the anger, the bitterness, finally begins to melt away. It's not that it doesn't matter anymore. It does. But she's stronger than it now. She's learned that standing firm in the face of injustice doesn't just earn you respect, it demands it. And that's what she had done. She'd stood her ground, refused to back down, refused to let anyone define her worth. As the camera slowly zooms in on her face, her eyes are no longer clouded with pain. There's no more doubt in her gaze. There's only clarity, clarity that she is in control of her own fate, that no one else gets to decide her future. Not the people who doubted her, not the ones who tried to tear her down. She is in charge. She has always been in charge. The hotel was never the thing that made her powerful. It was her. In the final, lingering moment, she looks directly into the camera, a small but confident smile tugging at the corner of her lips. The words echo in her mind, and she knows they're true. They thought they could break me. But I built this. I'll rebuild again if I have to. No one gets to decide my worth but me. The voiceover fills the space around her, the words hanging in the air like a declaration, like a truth that no one can ignore. It's her truth. And it's a truth that can't be taken away. The camera lingers for a moment longer, capturing the quiet strength in her eyes, the stillness that surrounds her. The world below continues to turn, the noise of the city a distant hum. But in this moment, it's just her, standing tall, standing strong, and knowing that no matter what comes next, she will face it with the same strength and dignity that brought her here. She will rise again, just as she always has. The screen slowly fades to black, leaving the audience with the unmistakable feeling of redemption, of victory, and of the incredible power that comes from standing up for yourself, no matter the cost. It's a lesson about resilience, about the importance of never letting anyone define your worth. It's a truth that will stay with them long after the screen goes dark. No one gets to decide who you are but you. And that, in itself, is the most powerful thing of all.